聴しました。終わったわ、わら。
Kia ora. No mai haere mai ki Aotearoa. Welcome to New Zealand and to Te Awaroa National Park. This little slice of paradise is teeming with creatures big and small, and more adventures than you'll find on any movie screen or storybook. I've lived out here in the Wop Wops all my life and never wanted for anything else. In fact, it's practically in my blood. This place and my family go way back. Things have been a little tricky lately, though. It's fast becoming somewhere I don't recognise anymore, and I don't like it. That's why I dragged you out here, Hoa. With your help, we're going to wean ourselves off outside money and make Te Awaroa a model for sustainability the entire South Island can get behind. Right, let's get moving. Glad to see you've arrived in one piece. Josh is my nephew. He just got his license, and I swear that kid spends more time with his hands on the radio dials than on the steering wheel. I hope he didn't talk your ear off. I've had to rely on him a lot lately since my legs started acting up again. I was planning to head out and meet you today, but here I am at home, propped up on 5 kinds of pillows. Doctor's orders. Anyway, that's enough chit-chat from me. Head over to the outpost marked on your hunter, mate, and let's get you started. I hope you had a chance to spend some quality time on your own before I rang you up. Your mate, Alejandra, said the two of you were here on holiday? She had nothing but praise for you, by the way. Said you almost single-handedly turned things around for her in Cuatro Colinas. Well, naturally I have pretty high expectations, but let's take our time getting to know each other first. I'll admit that it wasn't just her recounting your heroic antics that made me pick up the phone. She said you were, and I quote, stoic, practical, and probably born out in the bush somewhere. Just what I was looking for, in other words. exercises. And good for the environment doesn't have to mean bad for your back. It's pretty cozy inside. Go on, take a look. See, we got company. That'll be Josh's doing, the brat. I told him to leave things be, but I guess he couldn't resist. Anyway, maybe it's just as well you get used to it. I'll fill you in later. Right, mate? See that camera on the table? Strap it to your chest and let me explain what exactly you're here for. There's a lookout tower not far away, so you can head up there and get a sense of the place while I flap my gums. Nice and tight now. Wouldn't want it coming off right when you've got a shot lined up. So you just have to make sure it's on when you head out to hunt. We have a couple of strategic locations on our list to get through. But let's get you that view first. Just take that in. Spectacular, isn't it? This eastern area is all rolling hills and conifers. There's a line of mountains in the centre of the reserve, and native beech forest, and a lot of rain on the other side. Running low. The outposts have ammo of all kinds and more besides. Right, so remember Josh's little prank? This place doesn't receive a lot of government funding, unfortunately, and a couple of years ago we were running out of money for field research, and the outposts were in need of sprucing up. So I guess you could say we made a deal with the devil, the Hollywood devil to be exact. Long story short, they've just wrapped up filming for the final movie they were contracted to do. Some fantasy thing, shiny blade or shimmering dagger or something. Now let me check. Resplendent sword. I'll send you the blurb they gave me. My nephew tells me it's a big deal, but I'd certainly never heard of it before this. But yeah, as nice as it is that Te Awaroa's beauty is up on the silver screen for all to see, it's come with its share of problems, to say the least. The bigwigs left in a hurry, and we got left with a bunch of basically intact movie sets scattered here and there all over the reserve.
葬ってみえん。わら。
Well, I'm telling you all of this because Josh just rang me up and said that he spotted another set on his way back. Not far from where I wanted you to try filming your first hunt. Can I trouble you to go clear it out? We can't run the risk of any of the props from the film featuring in our footage. Cheers. Tricky little fella, eh? If at first you don't succeed and all that, you'll get the next one. Goats have made themselves a little bit too at home here, if you ask me. Their favourite food is native vegetation. Luckily for you, they're slower to flee than deer. You can reach them. What a mess. If I'd known this was going to happen, I never would have agreed to it. This isn't even the worst of it. Right, let's take it one by one. Just bundle them into crates and I'll get someone to swing by later and transport them out of the reserve. Quite the medieval fair. Looks more than a bit incongruous out here if you ask me. Real oranges. Good enough to eat, eh? I hope it didn't have an actual fire in that thing. Imagine if some silly townie kid had wandered over here and decided it would be a good idea. Found them. What's that note? Props list. Foam statue of haughty elf standing prow, 9 foam warriors, 8 golden goblets, 3 green screens. This reads like a Christmas carol. See any of those? Bit dodgy. Townies must have been up here. Well, even though this isn't our mess to clean up, I should probably ask around and see if anyone knows what's happened to the missing props. The last thing we need is to get blamed for this. Maybe they did a very selective sweep. I'll see if anyone has a bigwig's numbers. Thanks for your help, Eho. Let's move on. Before you head off and film your hunts, first we've got to set the scene, so to speak. The marketing team's looking for some photos for the reserve website, something to give people a taste of what this place has to offer. Now that we've dealt with that bloody mess, you think you could head over to Lake Wakaiti and snap a few shots for us? There's a willow tree there growing right out of the water that all their influencers or whatever they call themselves go bonkers for. It does make for a good photo op, I'll give it that.
Wara. 面白そうなゲームしてくれ。いらっしゃいです。From the other side, me and a gaggle of other kids carrying backpacks bigger than our whole bodies. Not much of that lifestyle left these days. I miss it sometimes. That'll do. It's looking well. We had some hoon try to saw off one of the branches a few weeks ago. Can you believe? But luckily someone managed to talk him out of it. Sometimes wedding parties will have the brides come up and sit on it, wade right into the water and soak those dear dresses. That tree is 80 years old. Started off as a stray branch nailed to a fence, It's a tribute to tenacity, if you ask me. Right, now for our next destination. Head down to the shoreline. There's a set of huge boulders there that have to be seen to be believed.
違うよ。
I know what you're thinking. She's showing me some rocks. But trust me on this one. Our beaches are buzzing with natural activity. At least they used to be. You get more and more rubbish washed up all over the place lately. You know, bits of plastic pallets, runoff from factories further north. I swear I've seen tin cans with Australian brand names. We do our best, but we can't always prevent the poor critters ending up with junk in their bellies. Anyway, that's the situation. I'll get back to you when you arrive. Just gonna head off for a minute, make some tea.
あんこちゃんへ、わら。嘘つくなし、わら。
Shut the place down. This really can't wait, mate. There's a little blue penguin population nesting not far from here, and they'll gladly take this for food. Okay, that looks manageable. Let's
clean this up and take the photo. Then we can talk hunting again. Well, as you can imagine, being featured in a host of box office hits has done wonders for our profile with tourists. Problem is, a lot of the people who come are just here to take a few photos, dump a heap of rubbish, and then leave
今は
unceremoniously.
何の痕跡を追ってるんですかね。
So we end up with messes like this one. I'd like to say that we've become the victim of our own success, but that's letting me off the hook. Right, there should be a stand over on the other end of the beach with rubbish bags and a picker.
「今はストーリー進めてるからまだ買ってないよ」ストーリーやったんだ。あるね。
We went to all the trouble of installing these, and they still couldn't be bothered. These kids would have nightmares if you showed them some of what I've seen out here. Birds with stomachs so full of plastic they can't eat. South Island University. I knew it. Way too many people around here who have never respected this place. Looks like they had quite the little feast. You made quick work of it.
ゴミ拾い。わら。
That's a perfectly usable tent. No sense wasting it. Anyway, I've had enough of this. And we need to ensure that we're attracting the right kinds of tourists, not just day trippers from Christchurch out on their school holidays. It's okay for people to come here and leave no trace, but it'd be better if we could rely on them to help us with our conservation goals. So hunters seem like the natural target audience. Our deer and goat populations need constant
Hiya.
culling. And you better believe I've more faith in people who love the wilderness to respect the place than kids up to no good. At the risk of sounding like an old fusspot. Speaking of, let's do what we came to do and grab that photo.
何わろ。
Lovely use of lighting. I may have to hire you to help out on my next book project, if I ever finish the current one. There's a lot of theories about where these boulders came from. Volcanic activity, lightning, even aliens. I've heard them all over the years. The boffins will tell you they were formed over 60 million years ago on the sea floor, like pearls. But that's not the whole story. When people first arrived in New Zealand, they took their staple crop with them, kumara, otherwise known as sweet potato. Unfortunately for them, the weather in this part of the country isn't exactly conducive to growing much, and the tubers withered and died. So they sent word to the Polynesian homeland, and a canoe set sail with a hardier crop. But it was caught in an intense storm just off the east coast. Each wave that struck it was so large that it made a new hill. Those are the ones you'll see further inland, and all of the cargo went overboard. And that's what these boulders are. Petrified kumara, eel baskets, calabashes. The canoe itself formed the reef further up. Moral of the story? Things have long shelf lives. A lesson I wish someone had taught those kids. Right, feeling warmed up? Good. It's time for you to show me what you can do. Camera on? Then you should have everything you need. I got Josh to set it up. He told me to tell you that it's state-of-the-art, equipped with Wi-Fi, so any footage you grab is automatically uploaded to our server. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I guess I'll be able to see it on here? No pressure then. There's good hunting in the whole of this area, from up around where you cleared out the props earlier to closer to the beach. Take your pick.
30kg 以上
But
か。
just one thing. We want it to show up nice on camera, so no minnows. Try for something at least 30 kg. The larger the better. Should be no problem for a hotshot like you. No word back from our friends in Hollywood regarding the props, by the way. My guess is that some townie thought it'd be a hoot to grab them for their crib. But I'm not keen on the idea of someone wandering around when we're supposed to be closed to visitors.
結構大物だね。
Anyway, nothing you need to worry about right now. Just focus on those killer shots.
子供くらいかな。人さらいかな。違うよ、わら。いっぱいおるな。 消えた。高額明細。寝てるのいるな、わら。寝た。
Feral pigs may look all cute and cuddly, but you get on their bad side and you'll get nothing but a sore rump for your troubles. They're voracious feeders too, so no need to ask for my permission to shoot on sight. What a beaut! And that chase. Gonna make for some great footage.
褒め、
You're living up to your reputation, I'll give you that. A lot of people around here think that hunting's heyday peaked in the 70s and 80s. Back when you'd get scores of daredevils out in helicopters gunning down deer 3 at a time. That's not the done thing anymore, for a whole host of reasons. But these days we need hunters more than ever. And I'm glad I have you on board to help us show the world that. You've got a fan here, Hoa. Josh gave me a hand posting some footage from your hunt to the reserve chat group, and it caught the eye of our resident sharpshooter, Melanie Murphy. Melanie's the one who taught me to hunt. She's retired now, but back in the day she worked out on those helicopters with the best, or worst of them. Tough as nails and with a sharp tongue to boot. We had a bit of a falling out 25 years ago. One of the choppers came down with us in it. That's how I injured my leg. I won't go into it, but we should never have taken off that day, and Melanie knew it. Well, these days we're cordial to each other, but not much else. Anyway, my mum always told me to let bygones be bygones and all that. Melanie's a better hunter than I'll ever be, advanced age notwithstanding. So I'll do my best to pass on whatever I've learnt from her gratis. You're welcome. Right, back on track. Sorry to ask again, but I need you to do me a favour. No, it's not more cleaning up, don't worry. Get to the outpost I've marked on your hunter map and I'll explain on the way. I grew up here, just west of the mountain range. We were a small community of outsiders living in sync with nature. No running water, only whatever electricity our generator could provide. People from down in the local town used to call it a hippie commune. Not that you like the term. It was about sustainable living first and foremost. We weren't just there to not shower and sing Kumbaya all day. So when I say the place is part of me, I mean it. One's family can trace their lineage here to the 14th century, and we've accumulated a lot of stories over the years. Some of those are about an animal that holds a special place in my heart. European settlers released moose here about 100 years ago, and there haven't been any confirmed sightings since the 1950s. But I swear to you, I saw one when I was little, staring straight at me over a hazy morning mist. Ever since then, I've been determined to prove that they're still here. Even written a book about it. Or I'm writing a book about it, I should say. I can't give it the conclusion it deserves yet. I don't hold out much hope anymore. But I've got a few trail cameras scattered here and there. Usually just throw up deer herds and the occasional teenager behaving badly, but they're pretty low maintenance. One of them got knocked over and the battery's completely mounted. So I'd like you to switch it out if that's not too much trouble. It's on the way to our next filming destination. There should be a battery pack on the table. I've been meaning to get out there for ages, but then my legs started acting up again. 'Nice to have the help. is. That should keep it going for another few years. Can you check the other cameras while you're here? Might give you some stalking suggestions if nothing else. When something shows up on these, 9 times out of 10, it's a stray deer.
鹿、メーカー保証期限が切れてるやろな。わらわら。そんなのあるのかね、わら。地デジか。懐かしい。うは。外したな。めっちゃおった。
Between these little fellas and that props list, Christmas has come early this year.
七面鳥もいるのね。クリスマスは終わってしもうた。わら。来年はシーズン前に七面鳥を狩るべし。来年かい。
There's our missing props. But who? I don't honestly mind someone getting some use out of them as long as we're not deemed responsible, but that's a big bloody truck. There's no driving of anything larger than an ATV permitted in the
トラッ
reserve.
ク。
Don't see any tracks, do you? Must have been a few days ago at the earliest. License plate's pretty clear at least. I'll do some detective work and let you know. I don't suppose you packed any swimming togs, eh? Well, not to worry. Getting to our next destination involves a bit of spelunking, but a flashlight and some waterproof boots should be all you need. Head to the cave I marked on your hunter, mate. Unless you'd rather climb over those mountains. No? Didn't think so.
分延長しました。ガンガン。荒い運転だぜ。わらわら。バギーのライフ残り半分。ですが危ねえ、わら。クラウン会、わら。知らなかったのか、わら。けな妖怪。聞けると思った。わらわら。死んだ、わら。引けるのは小型動物だけ。しかもキルできない、わら。く。動物つえが、わら。よくウサギに乗り上げてマグナムトルネードする話を聞く、わら。わらわら。 わらわら。どんだけ飛んだ、わら。これは、ちょっとジャンプした程度。恐ろしや。数なら200メートルくらい飛ぶの。わら。わらわら。競技にできるね。わら。このマップの山登れるので。ほう。あかんか。頂上からバディで駆け下りるエクストリームバディというどうのだろう。わら。わらわら。500メートルくらい飛んでアウトポストまで飛ばされた。わら。マジか、わら。おねむに。 何回死ぬねん。わら。 短いな、わら。
Follow the river west and you'll eventually wind up with a cave mouth. The water's low right now, but it can still catch you by surprise. Stick to the walls and get that flashlight on. Easy does it.
とりあえず18時なので終わりますね。お疲れにゃんころりん。おつおつ。おつありです。お疲れにゃんころりん。おつありにゃんころりん。おー、X オーミャー。お疲れにゃんころりん。